What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing to backtest gold. We're going over the 2023 price action, continuing from where we left off last time. So let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so starting off on the daily time frame, I think last time price was still bullish. We had this daily breaker structure right here. And overall, I'm looking to take price up into these sort of equal highs that we have right here. Very clearly, price is gravitating towards those as well. It doesn't have anything to react from before taking out these highs. I'm just going to mark them on as well. So we've got, well, we sort of got both. So we've got this high and then we've got this high just slightly above. So we could see a reaction once that's swept, but for now I'm looking to buy price up into those highs. So if we go down to the 4 hour as well, we can see that price has reacted from demand. It has then broken structure once again, just here. So now what I'm going to be looking to do is buy somewhere between these lows and where price currently is. What I can see, and this would be my first point of interest, we have this whole region here, which is that 4 hour demand zone where all of this volume came into the market. So this is the first level I'd look for a pullback into, unless price creates some other point of interest above this zone. So let's just play price because I'm not seeing anything until it either pulls back into this or continues up and creates some more structure. Yeah, there we go. So the only thing that's valid for me right now is if price pulls back into this 4 hour zone. Gold loves to do this as well, where it creates these big impulsive moves. It nearly always comes back down, fills it completely, and then you normally see some sort of reaction. So there we go, price has tapped into our zone. Let's have a look at some lower time frame structure. So currently, not really too much structure unless price pushes up, breaks this high, or pushes down, regrabs these lows, and then breaks structure. So that is what I would look for here. There we go. So we've had a regrab of those lows. I now want to see this structure taken out before buying. Okay, we've now had another regrab of those lows. So yeah, just looking to follow this downtrend in structure, looking to see if this bearish trend ends inside this 4 hour demand zone. Nothing just yet. But there we go. That was our 5 minute shift in structure, or a change of character, whatever you want to call it. And we do have quite a nice level of demand down here. The reason I like this one as well is because it's in balance and you've got a liquidity level resting above it. So I'm just going to set a limit here and have stops below this low. As for targets for this backtesting session, we are doing a mechanical 1 to 3 target. So I'm just going to set the target at a 1 to 3. Obviously, if you wanted a more discretionary TP rule or you wanted a higher risk reward, you could probably target back up at these highs because price is overall bullish, higher time frame, so we are expecting this to be the higher low, which puts in a new higher high. So logically, we are expecting price to come up into these highs. But for this, to remove any discretion, or to remove as much discretion and human error as possible, I'm simply doing a 1 to 3 target rule. So there we go, our trade was tagged in. Nice rejection on the hourly as well. Price took out a liquidity level just below it. So let's have a look on the 5 minute. So yeah, we need to see price re-break these highs and then the trade will be nice to let run. And there we go. If you want a re-entry, you could possibly look for a retest down in this level. It doesn't look like price is coming back that far though. You could potentially look for a re-entry or a scale-in at this demand now that price has broken past these highs to the left. Or yeah, you could also see it come down and retest this hourly demand down here. That would also be valid. So yeah, I'm going to look for a scale-in here as long as I can make the first trade break even when I enter the scale-in. So let's see if price reacts here. Sweep of that zone is also valid. Yeah, so there we go. This is nice. So we've had a sweep of all of these previous lows. Price broke this structure to the left. Right? You've created like a liquidity level above demand. If price can pull back into this demand, I'm happy to buy. And we're going to have stops. I'm going to put it just below this liquidity level to the left because price may still want to take that out. And then if this trade is tagged in, I'll make the first one break even as well. Again, 1 to 3 target. And we're going to set that limit. The only thing which would invalidate this trade is if price breaks this high before tagging us in. Yeah, there we go. So this is invalid now. Analysis was good, however. We did have a sweep of that low, followed by the push. So now we can just look to follow this lower time frame structure. The first trade hit take profit, so we can get rid of this. And like I said before, I'm just looking to continue buying up into these previous highs. After a pullback, maybe we can get a scale in, or not a scale in, but a second entry. So price is pulling back, could potentially see it come into this demand. Slightly missed it. Yeah, you can kind of see it tapped into this whole region, which was the consolidation before you had that big push. So that made sense, but this looks like some type of news event. So I probably wouldn't have bought there anyway. And there we go. Price has come back down. Swept the demand. So this is where this is interesting. We could see the buys here. Not really any lower time frame structure though at the moment. So ideally we get a sweep of these lows again and then a break of structure. Otherwise this is not going to be a valid setup. Yeah, so I think price looks like it's going to just head straight towards that high. No valid entry there for me though, unless we can maybe get a retracement and a sweep of this low. Yeah, so it doesn't look like that's happening. Cool, so price broke that high again. And now we've also had a main break of structure. So we can now get rid of this internal structure and focus on looking for some bullish continuation. So let's zoom back out, and still price hasn't taken out those highs that we're looking to buy up into yet. So still looking to buy up into those highs. If we see a pullback, this would be a good opportunity. So we have this sort of demand on the 1 hour, that would be a valid zone. Let's see on the 4 hour actually. Yeah, so at the moment that would be the only sort of valid zone that I would look at. Maybe unless price comes down to this zone, that would also be nice. So yeah, like this sort of region would be where I'd look to buy. Just going to play this higher time frame. Could also see the buys here. This would be valid. We've had price took out this low into that imbalance. We've got those highs left above. So yeah, let's see if it can break structure here. There we go. So it broke this structure. If we can get a pullback into demand, I would look to buy here straight away. So maybe if it can come back into this zone. I'm going to set a limit on that zone, and we're going to target again a 1 to 3. Yeah, there we go. So price didn't respect the demand. Valid loss there. Still looking for buys, but looking for it to come slightly lower now into the demand that we originally marked. Or we also have this lower one, which price has just reacted from. So let's see if we get an entry here. Okay, so looks like price wants to continue lower actually. Higher time frame wise though, still bullish. And what I would actually look for now is potentially a sweep of this low right here. So even though price is bullish, I think we could look to short the market down into these lows. After that low gets swept, then we could see the bullish continuations, but very clearly price is gravitating towards that low. We've had all of this bearish momentum coming in, pushing price towards that low as well. So yeah, I'm gonna have a look for some sells here. A lot of people are gonna be seeing this as a support as well and trying to buy from this support. So if we get a pullback, I'm gonna look to short down into that low. Not really any clear points of interest to sell from though at the moment. So just letting it play out a little bit more. Could see this level give a reaction. This was that whole sort of supply zone where the volume came in. So let's see if price can make its way to there. Nope, so price slightly missed it. And yeah, we did get a sweep of that low. Only just though, price still does look like it could potentially continue lower. This is the main breaker structure. So like this high up here is what you would want to see price break for the longs. But personally, I still see price coming down slightly lower than this. Maybe you could see a reaction from this supply. Yeah, there we go. So price has given a reaction from that supply. Let's see if we can get an entry on the sells. There we go. So sweep, change of character, and now we can wait for a pullback into this sort of zone if price wants to provide a pullback. I'm going to have stops just above that high. I'm going to target this low, but we can have slightly bigger stop loss just to make it a 1 to 3 again. And let's see if it can pull back. Oh, there we go. So that was a loss. Valid trade though. I'm going to jump back in shorts here actually. Market execution on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna play this on higher time frame as well, just so it's a bit quicker. Nice, there we go. So reason for that trade, I saw that price had pushed up, swept the top of that supply zone, and then on the 5 minute, price had given that market structure shift just there, pulled back, retested supply, and then started to push down once again. Our original entry was just a little bit early. You can also see as well here, people would have been viewing this as a breaker structure. So that's when you ideally want to be shorting the market. And now we have taken out all of these lows down here, so we could see some more buys come in. In particular, it swept this low, and we've now also seen it take out this low, I think. Yeah, so that low also got taken out. Remember as well that on the daily time frame, price hasn't taken out any of these highs yet, so you will very likely see it continue up into those highs before any bigger reversals come into play. Could potentially see it come into this demand that we have down here, but overall I'm just looking for a reaction from where price is now. There we go. So there's your 15-minute change of character. I'm not going to wait for a pullback in this case. I'm just going to buy here and target a 1 to 3. There we go. So nice push so far. So you could say this is the hourly change of character, but it looks more like a sweep. Even so, we could potentially look to get back in some longs here. But yeah, because my initial entry is here, I can't make this first position break even, so I'm just going to let the first position play out rather than looking to scale into this. I'm still liking the look of it though. Quite range bound. Just going to play this on the 4 hour so it's a bit quicker. And there we go. So nice winning trade. And yeah, now price has flipped back bullish on the 4 hour as well. Broke past this structure, clear momentum coming in. So now looking to buy up into these highs. And I'm going to look for a potential re-entry on the buys. Okay, so here would be nice if we can get a re-grab of these lows. Okay, doesn't look like that's happening. Yeah, there we go. So not really an opportunity to get back in there. So yeah, 4 hour breaker structure here, but price has just grabbed both of those equal highs on the higher time frame. You have left, if you look at all of these lows down here as well, I think it's very likely price is going to come back down and take out those lows at some point. But yeah, before looking to short, because we have just had a sweep of those two weekly highs, if you look here. So we could see the shorts come in. But before that, I would need to see a clear breaker structure or for price to flip back bearish, which I'm not seeing just yet. Quite range bound again. There we go. So there's some nice momentum coming in. Price took out this low. So you could view that as a change of character. Yeah, that's a change of character for me. So I'm gonna wait for, let's see where price could come back into. This supply up here maybe. I think what we can do here actually, so higher time frame direction wise, you could read this in one of two ways. You could read it as this being a breaker structure, this is your pullback for a sweep and then for further buys. Or you could view it as a sweep of those highs to the left, change of character, pullback, and then some sells. So because it has taken out this low, and if we can get a 5 minute change of character, then I'm going to be looking to long here. Yeah, there we go. So broke past multiple areas of structure actually. You've created this imbalanced demand. If we can get a retest of that, I am happy to look for some longs up into this supply with a 1 to 3 again. There we go, so we're tagged in. Very corrective pullback as well, which we like to see. I'm going to play this on the hourly as well, just so it's quicker. Looking good. And there we go, price has tapped into the supply. Very clear reaction. We've also got, if you notice how price built up all of these previous lows and all of this liquidity before tapping into that supply, that is what we like to see, because it is a good indication that price may want to continue down. For our change of character, we need to see this low taken out. There we go, we saw exactly that. And on the 15-minute, you can see that we have this clear level of supply as well. So I'm going to look for a pullback into that region. Stops just above here. If it comes above this imbalance or FVG, whatever you want to call it, I want to be out of the trade. So there's no reason to have stops all the way up here, in my opinion. And again, 1 to 3 target. If you guys haven't tested out this 1 to 3 mechanical take profit rule, by the way, I highly recommend it. It just helps to remove a lot of the discretion in your trading, and it just gives you a lot more peace of mind when it comes to entering trades, because you know exactly what you're doing before you actually get into the trade. And if you guys do test this TP rule out for yourself, let me know in the comments. Let me know how you get on with it. And there we go, trade played out, almost took us out. I think it swept the top of that 15-minute supply, but then ultimately melted. So what I'm looking for now is for price to continue back into these lows down here. So let's see if we can jump back in the sells. So this looks quite nice. Price has pulled back, tapped into supply, left these equal lows down here. Could also potentially see it come back up into this supply. That would also be valid for more shorts. But let's see how it reacts in this zone. You also have this 15-minute supply above, where we could maybe see a reaction. Yeah, there we go. So price didn't respect that zone. Oh, I like this actually, this looks good. So price came up, swept these previous highs into this imbalance. We've got those equal lows below, and the 5-minute has just flipped bearish as well. Right, so again, I'm not going to wait for a pullback here. I'm just going to get in market execution, stops slightly above that high in case price wants to sweep it again. And we can go for a 1 to 3. Market execution. There we go, price is selling off nicely. There's not really anything for it to react from either in this range, which would cause it to flip bullish. If you wanted to increase your risk to reward, in this case, you could also look to short down into all of these lows, because it's very likely that they get taken out. But yeah, for this, we're only going for a 1 to 3. There we go. Just look at all these lows that we have now down here as well. We have 1, 2, 3, and yeah, I think if you were looking for another entry on the sells, you could look at this level here and then look to short down. But because we're already in that initial position, that's not something I'm interested in. And yeah, there we go. So that level was respected. Price sold off into it. and we now have another breaker structure. Gonna mark this one back on as our change of character as well, just so we can see where price has previously reacted from. This is another tip for you guys as well, which I like to do, is that make sure you have previous structure breaks and mitigations marked onto the chart. It just helps to anticipate where price is likely to go. Also make sure to mark on where the liquidity is being swept. So if you have previous highs to the left being swept, mark that on, because once that happens, price is likely going to head to the opposing liquidity. So if you mark on where the liquidity sweeps are happening, you can anticipate which levels are likely to get taken out next. I'm also going to get rid of some of this because that is now irrelevant. I'm going to keep this demand zone on as well, because obviously it's a very clear 4-hour demand and you have all of these lows resting above it. So even if price is now bearish, you will likely see a reaction from this level, right? I definitely see it getting taken out though, now that you've had these highs being swept. So let's see if we can get one more sell position down into those lows. If we get a pullback. There's not really too many clear points of interest I would short from though. Yeah, there we go. So price has now come into that 4-hour demand. Swept all of those lows to the left, just here. Is still quite bearish though, but I think we will see a reaction in this zone. That's what price normally does once it takes out loads of previous lows. And we have the added confluence of this being a 4-hour demand. Some levels I would be cautious of though, or we could use some levels we could potentially use for the targets on the buys would be this supply zone. We have this supply zone as well. Could see some more sells if price retests into those zones, but because it has just sold off quite heavily, we could definitely see some pullbacks here if we get those lower time frame breaks of structure. So if price can break this 15-minute high, I'm very happy to buy here. Or it could just continue straight down. Yeah, there we go. So nice momentum coming in. The momentum came from this demand. It broke this structure to the left. So this is a valid trade. I'm going to set a limit just here. Stops below this low, and I think we can get a 1 to 3 before price taps into that supply. There we go. Notice how as well, if you're looking to the left, there's nothing in this range for it to react from. So if it does start to pull back now, you're expecting it to create another high before then reversing, or it could also just continue higher as well. There we go. Nice rejection so far. There we go. So that was literally a perfect trade. Price didn't respect this first supply. I like this now for shorts though. Notice how we've had this second break of structure. All of this volume has come into the market. So most people now are going to be seeing this as a break of structure, looking for a pullback to continue buying. But price has just tapped into this supply zone and is overall bearish now, in my opinion. And this is just like a small pullback. So I'm going to look for some shorts in this supply zone if we get a valid break of structure. Nothing just yet. There we go. So this is our break of structure on the 15 and the 5 minute. So we could now look for a pullback maybe into this supply zone. Stops just above that high, and we can get a 1 to 3 targeting this low down here. There we go, nice wick rejection so far. Oh, doesn't look good. Actually, no, it still looks good, it's fine. Nice, there we go. Very simple trade. All of these trades, guys, are literally the same exact trade playing out over and over again. Market structure, tap into a supply or demand zone, and then we look for a breaker structure on the 5-minute time frame. I'm also just going to mark on this structure here because that was the most recent breaker structure. And yeah, I now see price heading back into these lows to continue this downtrend. And the next level we could potentially watch out for some longs would probably be this liquidity level down here, because it's the last bit of liquidity before this big imbalance. Or you could actually also see a reaction from this demand. Like this whole zone is below all of these previous lows. But yeah, apart from that, just looking for more sell opportunities, to be honest. Could see a pullback now that this low is swept to take out these highs. Maybe tap into this supply up here. There we go. Let's see if we can get some shorts here. If this level does not hold, then I see price potentially taking out this high again, and then we can look for some more sells there. So this would be valid actually. We had sweep of that supply, market structure shift just there, and we can get a 1 to 3. Nope, so valid loss on that one. But yeah, like I said, I now see price coming up and re-grabbing that high. There's nothing between where it is now and that high to cause it to start selling. Yeah, there you go. So clear sweep of that previous high. Nice rejection so far. And did also break 5-minute structure. So I'm gonna set a limit on this supply zone on the 5-minute. Stops slightly above the high, and we can get a 1 to 3 down here. Okay, looks like it wants to miss us. The reason I didn't do market execution here as well is because the risk to reward wasn't worth it. You would have had to have a huge 58 pip stop loss. And then to get a 1 to 3, you would have had to target like all the way down here. But yeah, this looks nice now. Price looks to be selling down into these equal lows. Once again, you've created another low down here. This is now an area of support where people would obviously be buying from. So this is why we want to be looking to short into it after a potential pullback. Ah, there we go. So didn't really get the pullback, but price has now broken structure again. Just here. Could maybe see sells after a sweep of this high. I think all the SMC guys will be seeing this as a change of character, so it's a good place to sell if we get that lower time frame breaker structure. think I missed it. Should have been retested this supply zone here, but I played price too quickly. Could maybe see this actually. I'm gonna short from here. I like this. We've got all of these lows built up. I'm gonna make this break even now. There we go. So break even on that. Slightly annoying because price just missed our TP. The actual entry I missed because I played price too quickly. It should have been once price broke this structure and then retested into this supply. So this entering on this supply down here was sort of a late entry, hence why the risk to reward wasn't as good. But yeah, now what I'm looking for, if we look on the daily, price has just grabbed these daily lows, so you could see some bigger bullish moves come in. I am still bearish though, because it hasn't really, like if you look on the weekly, it still has all of this imbalance, hasn't really came into a demand. So this to me looks like just a pullback. And on the 4 hour, you actually have this nice supply zone, very obvious supply, which creates an imbalance. You've got liquidity below it. But because on the 1 hour, or first of all, because it swept those daily lows to the left, hourly has now flipped bullish, we can look to buy up into that supply as well. Maybe from here, this looks nice. Maybe if price can give us a pullback. Nope, so that's invalid. Not seeing too much for the buys at the moment. Yeah, and there we go. Price has tapped into that supply zone now. I'm just going to refine it as well to this hourly supply. There we go. So looking to short here. Five-minute flipped bearish. Looking for a pullback into this imbalance. Stops just above the high. And we'll go for a 1 to 3. See if we get tagged. Slightly early entry, price just re-grabbed the high. So yeah, the real entry should have been after a sweep of this high, break of this structure, and then I would short from like here, like that. But yeah, we were already in this trade. Because I had a conservative stop loss as well, we still stayed in the position, because technically that position was only invalid if price broke above that supply zone. And yeah, what we could see now is price come and take out this low. That's the next liquidity. But again, we have had that hourly change of character. So like I said, we could see some more buys come in, maybe from this 4 hour demand, which swept liquidity to the left. So I'm going to be cautious here, but ultimately looking to sell into that level if we see a pullback. which doesn't look like it's happening. Yeah, there we go. So price is now in that 4-hour supply. Liquidity has been taken out. So we get a nice 15-minute change of character here. I'm more than happy to buy. Yeah, there we go. So you got a change of character, but there wasn't really a pullback. And now price has tapped into supply again. So we could look for some shorts here. I am still overall bearish, by the way, but I was expecting a counter trend move from this demand, just because it did cause a change of character. Price swept liquidity into it, and those daily lows were taken out to the left as well. But yeah, after a big sell-off like this, not really expecting price to push back up into these highs. More so looking now for a reaction from this supply zone that it just came into. As you can see, clear hourly supply zone. This up here as well was your internal change of character. So you had a sweep of this high, change of character, and price hasn't really flipped back bullish either. You've just got price come above this liquidity. So yeah, I'm looking to short here instead if we get a valid entry. There you go, so that's valid. Price broke this 5-minute structure. We've got this imbalanced supply up here. Just going to cover that high as well, because price could definitely sweep that again. And we'll go for a 1 to 3. If price gets below this level, there's not really anything stopping it from going all the way back down here. There we go. So like I said, price did end up sweeping that high again. But again, because we had that more conservative stop loss, we are still in the trade. Okay, there we go. So that was actually a loss. Price is still in this supply though, so could still see the sells. I'm actually now seeing price likely coming up and grabbing the top of this supply zone. And the reason for that is we can just see price consolidating in the zone. You've got these equal highs. So the next sell zone is if price can sweep that, the top of that supply zone. Hasn't done it just yet. There we go. Very clear bearish momentum coming in. Probably not going to get an entry on this though, because it looks like price is just going to sell. Yeah, so there we go. Sells came in, but no entry unfortunately. What I would look for now is if maybe price could come up and take out this high again. There we go. So let's have a look for some sells here. There we go, 5-minute flipped bearish. I'm going to enter here. Again, slightly bigger stop just to cover that high. And then we'll go for a 1 to 3. Don't like how corrective this looks. Yeah, so we got stopped out of that, which is annoying. Price now looks good to melt to the TP. I'm not going to look to get back in this though, because it is quite choppy. If we go back onto the 4-hour, you can see price is quite range bound. Definitely see it taken out of this low at least though. Yeah, there we go. So good analysis, not really a second entry opportunity once we got stopped out there. And price is now broken back below that 4-hour structure. So we can now look for some more sells. Maybe after price grabs this high. Like that. So this would be a good place to sell. Yeah, so this looks quite good actually. We had this 15-minute change of character. You've got liquidity below this supply zone, and that supply zone also swept liquidity to the left. So I'm going to enter here. We'll go for a 1 to 3. Not do market execution. We want to do a limit order. So I'm just going to exit that position at break even and set a limit instead. Damn, okay, so little losing streak at the moment. I think that was 3 trades in a row. I still see sells here though. Yeah, there we go. So price has started to sell again. Hasn't really broke any structure yet. This looks good actually. So clear bearish order flow. Price is just in this sort of random imbalance, so we're not expecting a reversal. And we have this hourly supply zone just here, which price has created some liquidity above. If this was the live market as well, I would target down at these lows. But because we're only doing 1 to 3 in this backtesting session, I'm going to just set target here. Gonna place a limit order. There we go, nice rejection. And yeah, very nice. So like I said, live market, I would have targeted these lows, which looks like it's gonna get hit. Yeah, there we go. So that would have been a nice 1 to 7 position. Easily covering the losing streak that we had. I think it was, yeah, so 3 trades, but again, 1 to 3 position covers all of that anyway, so you only need a 25% win rate to be break even, and then 26% to make profit, and then any extra percentage after that, you're making more profit. But yeah, nice. So we've done now half of the year on gold. I'm going to leave this video here. If you guys want me to continue this gold backtesting, make sure to like the video and make sure to comment below if you want to see that. If you want to see me backtest a different pair besides gold, also make sure to let me know in the comments. But I will see you guys in the next video.